all the junior colleges in Arizona decided to, drop their football programs, and then the following in 2019, this league was created to, revamp the JUCO scene in Arizona because, there's a lot of football in this state, and so it gives players an opportunity to keep playing football who maybe don't have a D1 offer, D2 or D3 offer, and keep playing the sport that they love. So that's what the league is.
Yeah, absolutely. I can kind of speak to that. I remember being in high school when they announced that decision, and my brother actually got a couple of looks from some HJCAC schools. Arizona Christian was one. I remember they brought us out to a game. But yeah, definitely I like a lot of these programs. I had some teammates actually go on to play some of these programs, so kind of a nice route to take for sure. We've seen a lot of NFL guys come out of junior colleges. I mean, everybody knows the famous video Cam Newton playing at the junior college level. So definitely a very desirable route for a lot of guys who definitely, as you said, don't have a D1 offer.
Yeah.
So back to the game that we did on Saturday. Salt Lake Scorpions, Maricopa Mustangs. Very exciting start, I would say. A lot of defense, I would say, in that game. Maricopa was able to do some things offensively, but definitely in the red zone, things did not come easy. What stood out to you from the game on Saturday?
What stood out to me was the Mustangs' defense. I mean, Salt River had a couple of chunk plays and to where they got into the red zone, but that Mustangs defense wasn't discouraged by it, and they didn't allow the Scorpions to score in the end zone at all, or even kick a field goal. The 2 points came from a blocked extra point, and they returned it for 2 points. And other than that, the Maricopa defense played lights out, and they've been playing lights out all year. Through the first 4 games, they have 24 sacks. The D line gets to the quarterback quick. They're fast off the line. They have contact courage as well, and the whole defense does. Even the offense. The offense isn't afraid to play smash mouth football, and I think that really is like one of the most important things for a football team to have is not if you get punched in the face, you're able to come right back and capitalize on it.
Absolutely. Maricopa did come out on top 25-2, and kind of the highlights to your point on that 2 points, it was on the opening possession. Maricopa's going for a PAT, kind of an awkward situation. It was blocked right into the lap of a Salt Lake Scorpions defensive lineman of all positions, and he was able to run it all the way back for the score. And that was just about it for Salt River for the rest of that game. And to your point, the Mustangs defense was all over the defensive front in particular was all over Salt Lake's offense, and they kind of dealt with some quarterback controversy on Salt Lake's side, but that defense, stout defense. And on that note, it's going to be a defensive show today. We are here with the head coach of the Maricopa Mustangs, Doug Madosky, who is also their defensive coordinator, and we're also here with DeJuan Curtis, the defensive tackle for the Maricopa Mustangs. So a lot to come later on today in this show with the Varsity Sports Show. Really excited to hear some of these perspectives, especially at the junior college level. I said on our broadcast, didn't really get too many junior college looks before Saturday, so it was kind of really my first live taste in a long time of some junior colleges. So, and I was impressed with it for sure. As I said, I had a couple teammates take the junior college route. My brother looked into it. He ended up going to a D3 school in Wisconsin, but very similar setting for sure. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to hear some more of coaches and player perspective of the junior college level, especially as a football guy myself. So a lot to come here on the Varsity Sports Show, Coaches Show here at the Angry Crab Shack. I'm Chris Cevallos, and this is Nick Furman, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
My name's Olivia Prickett, reporting to you from Arizona for the Varsity Sports Show, and I will be providing you with what to expect from ASU versus U of A women's volleyball on Wednesday. The Sun Devils have an action-packed October ahead of them, playing a total of 9 games. 2 of these games will be against their rivals, the Arizona Wildcats, and their first face-off will be on Wednesday, October 9th. As of October 1st, Arizona State has an overall record of 12 wins and 2 losses. They are also undefeated at home. Their win against number 22 ranked TCU was their 5th sweep in a row and the first win over a ranked team. The Devils are fired up and definitely know how to make a statement early on in the season. Racking up a total of 643 kills this season with an average of 14 kills per set and 682 digs, the Devils are strong in both their offensive and defensive performance. The Arizona Wildcats had an extremely successful preseason, dominating in every game up until they reached conference. This puts their record at 11 wins and 2 losses as of October 1st. The Wildcats were in Texas the same week as the Sun Devils, facing the same opponents, TCU and Baylor. They put up a good fight against Baylor, taking the third set that started with a comfortable 10-0 lead to force a fourth, where they fell just short of 8 points in the final set. On Friday, September 27th, the Wildcats were unable to gain momentum against TCU, getting swept in 3 sets. This added another loss to their conference record. With a total of 616 kills and 651 digs so far this season, the Wildcats know how to keep the ball off the ground on defense. Both the Sun Devils and the Wildcats have a comparable advantage going into Wednesday night's game, but it's truly down to who wants it more. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Olivia Prickett.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. With an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
And welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, Coaches Show, here live at the Angry Crab Shack. I'm Christopher Zavias, alongside with the head coach of the Maricopa Mustangs, Coach Doug Madowski. Coach, it's nice to see you today. I just want to get straight into it. You know, one of the things that stood out to me calling the game was your defense. I understand you're the defensive coordinator. A lot of different looks. You guys like to stack the box. You guys brought a lot of different pressures. You guys like to bluff pressures, too. Kind of walk me through how your defense performed on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I think they performed as expected. I mean, we're on track with where we want to be. The fun part about it is we're halfway through the season and still are yet to put in a lot of things, a lot of wrinkles that are still yet to be coming. We just wanted to make sure that we mastered the fundamentals first. It's kind of interesting. We talk about the box, and it does look like it's a lot more stacked than it really is. I mean, realistically, there's a lot of times we'll get into a 5-man look, and we'll play the run with only those front 5. As long as it's coached right and they read it right, then we'll be okay. But we're excited about what the last half of the season really looks like. I mean, like I said, we're slowly rolling some things out, and I think people will be excited about some of the stuff that we're doing later on.
And then kind of expanding on your defense, you have a little stat sheet in front of me. 6 total points allowed across your guys' first 4 games. But the one that really stood out to me is 24 sacks in your guys' first 4 games. It's averaging about 6 a game. Mm-hmm. Kind of talk to me about that defensive front. I know we got one of your defensive players waiting to the side. We'll hear from him later. But walk me through how your defensive front in particular has been performing.
I mean, I think the defense really starts there. You know, when we build the defense every year, we try to do it around and fitting what it is that we're going to do scheme-wise around the guys and what we have here. So it changes a little bit from week to year to year, excuse me. You know, but I think that really when we identified what we had up front, and we felt like we had some guys that could not only play the run and be stout versus the run, but we really felt like we could if we could create some one-on-one opportunities, that we'd be able to get home to the quarterback, and certainly we've been able to do that. You know, I mean, to me, the most glaring issue is the 6 points we gave up. We actually had a safety in the middle of the field ready to pick that ball off, and he kind of held it in, tried to cradle the ball more into his body instead of going and get it. You know, freshman kid, but it's done a great job for us, but you know, we've given up 6 on the year, and you know, we're going to keep chasing perfection, knowing that we may not get to it.
And, Coach, I want to talk to you a little bit about, so at the top we talked about the HJCAC and how it was implemented a few years ago. I had a brother who was a starting center, 3-year, junior on JV kind of guy, but was able to get a start his senior year, was getting looked at ACU, I want to say. Ended up going to go play out in Wisconsin at a D3, but similar look. Kind of talk to me as I was looking through your roster too. You guys had a lot of Sandra Day O'Connor guys. You guys had a lot of I think I saw an ALA couple guys. Mm-hmm. A lot of smaller school kind of guys. What does it mean to bring those type of players in, because they're still impactful, but definitely not getting the type of looks that you would get at maybe like a Saguaro or a Chandler?
Right.
What does it mean to bring those guys in?
I mean, it's obviously, for us, we're looking for the best football players we possibly can get, but we also want to find the guys that really have that chip on their shoulder. I mean, I think that you try to find teams that can emulate somewhat of what your staff looks like. We want guys that are going to be able to be relatable and relate to our coaches, and when we start talking about betting on yourself, I mean, that's one of the things that I've talked about forever as a former community college football player myself, that believe that I should have had better opportunities coming out of high school. I came from a small town, and it just didn't get overly recruited from that standpoint out in California, but so when you look at the guys from O'Connor, you look at the guys from ALA, you kind of have a big spectrum there. You've got some guys that are playing some smaller levels of football, and then you've got some guys that are playing the highest level of football here in Arizona. And it's really about just creating those opportunities and that late bloomer that feels like, he did kind of, like you talked about with your brother, he became the starter his senior year and didn't have the ton of film going into it that so many four-year schools would need in order to go recruit him, that senior year. Trying to get those guys and give them that next opportunity to truly see that they can take this game to the next level.
And kind of expanding on the junior college scene, like as I said, my brother, he ended up going to go play at a D3 in Wisconsin, but I had other teammates. One actually did go out to play at ACU. He's now the safeties coach at Chandler High School. Mm-hmm. I had a couple other teammates take a JUCO route. I think some went to Gila River, some did some out in California, now playing at some went on to U of A, some went on to New Mexico State. What do you like about the junior college route? And especially saying you're a former community college player yourself, what about the junior college level?
I think that it just provides that opportunity. I think that, I make the statement all the time about betting on yourself, and it's tough at 18 years old to go out into the real world. I mean, let's be real. Nobody's really ready for that at 18 years old. I mean, as much as I think back as an 18-year-old, I thought I had all the answers. I realize now I probably didn't. But, I think it's one of those times that you get the opportunity to grow up. You get the opportunity to mature a little bit. You kind of get to put your toes in the pool, so to speak, instead of being thrown in off the deep end. And I think that we just are able to provide that opportunity for these guys and to give them a chance to keep pursuing their dreams.
Absolutely. And then just really quickly on your offense, I really was impressed with Kevon Clark out of Centennial High School. The way he ran the ball, explosive, fast, physical, kind of a testament to the way that program is running. What does he bring to your offense?
Kevon's a dynamic individual. There's no question about it. He's a guy that we were fortunate to get when we got him. I had figured after playing against Kevon when I was also coaching over at Mountain Ridge High School, playing against him and watching him take the ball and go all over the place and pretty much do what he wanted to do, it seemed like, against us. He was a guy that we identified that we really wanted to get if we could. But, he's just dynamic. He can catch the ball. He plays as a returner. Getting the ball in his hands, there's a great chance of something special happening every time he touches it. So he's just another one of those guys that we're really excited about what his future looks like and certainly have an opportunity at the next level.
Absolutely. And I got to say, I was impressed with the way the squad looked on Saturday for sure. What else do you guys think you guys can do better going into the second part of the season?
I think we're just yet to play a complete game. At the end of the day, it's like, we've played pretty well defensively at spurts, and I think the nice part about what we've done defensively, it's not that we haven't given plays up, it's that we haven't been willing to let those plays define us. But I think that we can be a special football team if we get together and we click on offense, defense, and on special teams. If we get all three of those phases together, we're going to be a force to really be reckoned with, I think.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Coach, for your time. I was really impressed with some of the looks you guys gave on defense. As I said, dominant defense. Just describe in one word your team's performance so far this season.
In one word, average. I think that we're able to get better. I think that we're yet to get close to where we can be as a football team.
Absolutely. Definitely the right mentality. I got to say, I heard a lot of coaches speak like that on our squad. We'd be 4-0, and our coach would say that, and we would kind of be like, what, really? But I definitely understand that mentality now that I've grown a little bit more and understood a lot of more coaching philosophy, so definitely a very valid assessment of your team. Thank you again, Coach. I'm Christopher Cevallos here with the head coach of the Maricopa Mustangs, Coach Doug Madosky, and this was the Varsity Sports Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hi, this is Jameer Johnson reporting with the Varsity Sports Show from Indianapolis, Indiana. I am an Arizona State University online student and working remotely. Although today we are going to preview the top high school football games that are going on this week. The number 3 ranked Warren Central Warriors will host a rivalry game against the number 13 ranked Carmel Greyhounds. This rivalry dates back to 1959, and Carmel leads and wins throughout history in this rivalry. This game will be a home game for Warren Central as they prepare to continue an undefeated season with a 6-0 record, while the Carmel Greyhound attempts to change their 3-3 record to 4-3. Also, in Indiana, there will be a matchup between the number 2 ranked Westfield Shamrocks versus the number 11 ranked Fishers Tigers. Fishers will be hosting the game at their field. Although their record is 4-2, the Fishers Tigers are 3-0 for their away games and 1-2 for their home games. The Fishers Tigers are averaging 203.8 passing and receiving yards per game. However, the Westfield Shamrocks are unfortunately coming into this game with a loss, but hope to continue a winning season by winning this game, which will make their record 6-1 if they are able to do so. Then we have the number 1 ranked high school football team in Indiana, the Brownsburg Bulldogs, who will play the Noblesville Millers. The Noblesville Millers are averaging 282.5 rushing yards per game, but the Bulldogs will have the momentum because they will be hosting this game and they will attempt to further their 6-0 record with another win. This has been Jameer Johnson with the Varsity Sports Show reporting from Indianapolis. See ya.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
Everyone, I'm Nick Furman from the Varsity Sports Show. I'm here at the Angry Crab Shack for the Coaches Show. I'm sitting right next to Daiwan Curtis, defensive tackle for the Maricopa Mustangs. How you feeling, Daiwan?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great.
That's
I'm
good.
doing great. All right, so where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I grew up on the west side, and then like 4 years ago, I moved here. Lived in Goodyear ever since.
Okay, what high school did you go to?
Out here, I went to 2. I went to Shadow Ridge and then American Leadership Academy, Westwood Hills.
Nice. What made you choose, the Medoski's program and the Mustangs?
What really made me choose it was like I just wanted to bet on myself, and I felt like I had like a little bit left in the tank, to say the least, to really like push myself to the next level. And I was just like, might as well do it close to home.
Right. What does Coach Doug Medoski do differently from other defensive coordinators and other head coaches that you've had in recent years?
One thing I would say that Coach does like differently, he lets us play. Like if we make mistakes, it's fine. He's just like, all right, we'll fix it on the next drive. And he like lets us be free. Like as me being a defensive tackle, like he tells me little things in the game like, hey, just do this, and then I'll do it and it works. So.
Right. So the defense has been absolutely amazing the first 4 games. What mindset does that have you as a unit, the front 7 and just the entire defense for this back half of the season? Because you have a bye coming up, so just what mindset is the defense currently in after the first 4 games?
Honestly, the mindset that we're in, we're just trying to win out. We feel like since we gave up 6 points, that's like not like us at all. And anytime like we give up points, it's like, all right, we got to lock in. Like we just have to stay focused, stay motivated as well. And that's what we all do. We just sit there and talk to each other, make sure we're all like holding each other accountable.
Is this your first year with Coach Medoski, or were you here last year too?
I was here last year, but I got injured. So this is like my first full season.
Oh, what was the injury, if you don't mind?
I ruptured my Achilles. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty serious injury. How did it feel to step back onto the field for the first time after that?
That was like a surreal feeling. Like that first game, I was going through like so much, like the butterflies in my stomach. Like it was just crazy. I don't know how to like explain it. It's kind of like, I would say like riding a bike. Like when you take off the training wheels, you don't know what's going on.
Right. When during the season last season did you rupture your Achilles?
It was like a week before our first game.
Wow. So you missed all of last year. What did that do to you mentally, and now that you're playing again this season, how have you been better mentally this year compared to last year?
I would say mentally, like, it just made me like lock in. Like, I realized like this is my last chance. Like, I can't afford to misstep, or like I can't afford to lose certain things or fall back into certain things that I was doing before. So I just really wanted to lock in on that.
So 24, the D-line has 24 sacks. What are you doing getting off the ball so quick? You guys are flying to the quarterback. You're getting to the backfield. What drills are you doing to acculate that to the game?
I wouldn't say it's more about the drills. I would say like it's more just like how we think. Like the whole D line, we all like talk to each other. So if I'm getting off the ball fast, it's like something that I'm noticing. So I'll like let them know like, hey, I'm noticing this, and they'll start noticing it too. And we just have like speed demons coming off the edge. So like everybody's trying to get there to get the sack. So we just like all fight for it pretty much.
Right. You guys are a very physical defense. Does that all come from Coach Madosky, the physicality? You guys want to be able to punch someone in the mouth and, not let them get back up?
I would say it does come from Coach, just because like he's so calm. Like in a game, you rarely see Coach Madowski like get frustrated. So like he's just so calm. But the way he like talks to us before the game, like, hey, like it's time to hone it in. Like he's really the enforcer for us. Like when he tells us like hone it in and lock in, that's when we really like lock in.
After this year, do you have any plans to continue playing? You have any, what's the plan after this season?
Hopefully, after this season, I'm able to go somewhere. If not, I'll probably do another year here. That's like the main thing. I just really want to be focused. I'm not really trying to look forward to ahead. I'm really just trying to focus on day by day. How can I get better?
Right. So last year, Salt River was the only team that beat you guys. I know, like you just said, you didn't play. Going into, on Saturday's game the week prior, what was the practice like? Was it like a get-back game and,
It was definitely a get-back game. We made that our mission to try to fight back and like, hey, we're not going to lose this game.
Just business at practice?
Yeah.
Just the whole week?
Just business.
All right. Well, that's it. You heard from Daiwan Curtis. This is Nick Furman with the Varsity Sports Show here at the Angry Crab Shack. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Jesse Davis from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication at Arizona State University, reporting for the Varsity Sports Show. The Arizona Cardinals are looking to earn their second win of the season this Sunday on the road, taking on the San Francisco 49ers. The Cardinals find themselves in a bit of a hole to start the season, coming off back-to-back losses to the Lions and Commanders. Things don't get any easier for Arizona traveling to the Bay Area to face a talented 49ers team led by Brock Purdy and Fred Warner. One thing the Cardinals have going for them is the connection between quarterback Kyler Murray and rookie standout wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. So far, the pair have connected for 15 receptions, totaling 243 yards and 4 touchdowns. A big key for Arizona is going to be getting off to a fast start. The Cardinals have to be able to gain some momentum early and score to take the crowd out of the game at Levi's Stadium. James Conner is going to be another huge factor for the Cardinals as they need to get him going and involved. Conner thus far through 4 games has 2 games over 100 yards and 2 games with 50 yards or less on the ground. The Cardinals need a big game from Conner, who will try to take some of the pressure off of Kyler Murray, who will have Nick Bosa and company to deal with. The 49ers are at their best when their defense is creating turnovers and scoring points. We saw that last week against the Patriots, where Fred Warner picked off Jacoby Brissett and ran it back 45 yards for a touchdown. The Cardinals' offensive line has to be able to protect Kyler Murray and give him enough time to find his receivers open down the field. With kickoff set for 4:05 p.m. Eastern, it will no doubt be a classic NFC West tilt between the Cardinals and 49ers. From the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Jesse Davis.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat. Hey guys, we are back here on the HJCAC Monday Night Coaches Show. My name is Vince DeLisio, and I'm crashing the party here tonight because I wanted to bring on a special guest, a very good friend, a friend of our program, obviously a friend of the HJCAC because she's married to one of the coaches. Her name is Jen Cedo Madosky. Jen, first of all, thanks for doing this. I know it takes a lot because you tend to try and be someone that's behind the scenes, even though as a fan, you're very vocal, you're very involved. But the reason why you're here is I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your experience behind the scenes and what you've seen and your take on everything with junior college football. So I'll start off by saying welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about the fact that you're obviously married to Coach Madosky, and you see a lot of things from recruiting to off-season work to game planning to post-game. This wasn't rehearsed. I'm telling you this right now because we had a conversation already, but I'm shifting now. I'm changing things.
Oh boy.
What are some of the easiest or funnest things you've been a part of, and what have been some things maybe that have been challenging that you as an observer, as somebody that knows this organization very intimately, that you've had a chance to be a part of as well?
Something I'd say is really exciting is watching the development of the kids, the boys, the men.
Okay.
When you're working on getting recruited, it's a different sensation of, oh yeah, I'm gonna go play football, and that's all they're thinking about. But there's so much more that goes into it, and throughout that whole process, from the summer camps and just the off-season conditioning down to starting to play those games, the development of those kids is amazing to watch throughout the season, and quite honestly, watching them grow and then continuing to grow and move beyond the JUCO team is pretty great.
So the junior colleges have taken across the country. It's been a common theme where when budgets have to be slashed, the first thing to go is extracurriculars. And not only that, to go one step beyond, it's always football. This has filled a major void, and it's provided a lot of opportunity. You've seen some major success stories. You've seen kids that have been saved, that have been mentored. What type of feeling is that when you see Coach Madosky and some of the things that the triumphs that he gets to experience?
You're going to make me cry. He's a unique individual when it comes to that. He's had the opportunity to really help some of these kids I don't think would have had another opportunity if he hadn't come into play. And he really makes them feel confident. He gives them the confidence and the skills. I mean, he's a JUCO player himself and knows what you're coming from and where you can go. And he just has a knack for believing in these kids and giving them the skills and the confidence to move on.
Would you say there's a special type of mentorship that happens, not only with him, but with the other coaches that you know around the league?
Absolutely. I mean, you're going to hire the coaches that are going to believe in these kids and help them to both be not only successful on the field, but successful in life and get a degree so that, football is going to end at some point. And what are they going to do next? And so giving them those skills and knowledge and confidence to be able to then move on and achieve whatever goals they have career-wise to move on. And so absolutely, it's not just the head coach, it's not just your OC or your DC, it is every single person that, I could say beyond just the football team, but every coach has some role in that development.
Your parents, he's a dad. How has that affected his coaching when he's got 3 kids, particularly 2 daughters? I have one. I have 1 daughter and 2 boys. He's the other way. He's got 2 girls and 1 boy. So how has that played into maybe how his approach is as a coach?
I think he has a soft side, and there's a point of being a coach and helping them succeed as an individual, as a man, to grow, but there's that soft side. And I think he also, having had 2 women, 2 young girls that he's watched grow, I think that also helps him to help those players with their own family goals and needs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little soft side.
Okay, I need my notepad really quick, guys, if you can hand it to me. I know we're live, but there's some notes scribbled on here that I need, because speaking of soft side, let's talk about 2 of his best friends, Emma and Milo. Tell me about Emma and Milo.
So Emma and Milo are not his kids. They are his canine kids. Emma is our 8-year-old German Shorthair Pointer that he affectionately calls Ladybug. And Milo is our almost 3-year-old Cocker Spaniel that he likes to call Little Buddy.
Do they get the run of the house when he's around?
Are you kidding? That's a silly question. Of course they do. I say down, and he's like, oh, but come on. It's LB. It's my lady.
Okay. So Coach is there's a side of him that's much softer. He obviously exudes a very tough person, because that's the persona of a football coach, that you're a mentor, that you're a leader of young men. But there's also a side away from the game that's very relatable, that is very human, that he loves his pets, he loves his kids, and he loves the boys that he works with.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily always in that order, but for the most part. Okay.
No, and when you get to know him, he does have that shell can come down, and people like to be around him.
So you've had a passenger seat view of this league the last 6 years, because you were around when it started. You were around when the JUCOs at the Maricopa community colleges and statewide and a lot of the country ended football. So you've seen this thing evolve and morph, and now we're in year 6. Where do you see it going?
Oh my gosh, it's year 6.
It is year 6.
It's hard to believe it's been that long.
Yeah.
I'm proud of him. I'm proud of what these coaches in the league have been able to accomplish thus far. What do I see? I hope to see this continue to grow and for it to become a staple in this state. I know that there's other states that have wanted to model this program, which I think is critical, because there is a group of students and a group of kids that need this more than ever. And this is their platform to be able to move on to the next level, whatever that might be. It may not be D1. There are D2, D3, NIA. There are plenty of opportunities, and these coaches know how to help those kids get there. And this is a model that can be used elsewhere.
There you have it, folks. Straight from the lips of Jen Cito Madosky, Coach Madosky's wife. We're over there. Coach Madosky's wife, who has been on this journey the past
10 years.
10 years. Jen, thanks so much for joining us. When we come back from the break, I'm going to turn it back over to Chris and Nick. Thanks again for joining us here on the HJCAC Monday Night Coaches Show. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Kenny Sumner with Varsity Sports Show, and I'm going to be talking about the preview game against the Hamilton Huskies versus Canyon View Jacks. So this year, the Huskies are going to be hosting the game while Canyon View goes there. They both had a really big win on the previous games, and they both think that they're going to win this year on the game. Huskies had 42-0, and they have a 79.3% chance of winning. But I guess we'll see what happens that night. Thank you so much. This is Kaylee Sumner signing off with Varsity.
Good evening and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sabir Shahid, and I'll be giving your halftime report from Temple University right here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This past weekend, the Eagles had an upset loss against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. With the two of the Eagles, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith out, The Eagles had took a devastating blow with the passing game, and it shows during their game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Despite without the wide receivers, the strong wide receivers that they have, Jalen Hurts has scored a touchdown, which was a 20-yard touchdown, to give the Eagles a little bit of confidence that they can come back and finish this game. Also, there was a surprising star in number 80, Paris Campbell, who scored another touchdown, which was a 17-yard touchdown, which they try to give the Eagles something so we can win this game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But unfortunately, they have lost. As they enter this upcoming week, they are entering a bye week. So now this means that the Eagles can have time to recuperate, and all of the Eagles players who are injured can come back stronger than ever. A.J. Brown is still out due to a hamstring injury, and Devontae Smith is also still out due to concussional reasons. Now, this will be a good time for them to come back because the following week they're playing Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns. So this will be a good time for them to rest, to heal up, and face the Cleveland Browns. This will be on October 13th. That's all for today. My name is Sabir Shahid, and I'll see you guys next time. Everybody be safe and have a good night.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
City Sports Show, Coaches Show, live at the Angry Crab Shack. It's a very special thank you to our supervisor, Vince Delicio, for that interview. And just kind of recapping, Nick, we saw a lot of special teams action on Saturday at our game against Salt River and Maricopa. But there was one player in mind, Micah Johnson, really stood out. Kind of tell me about his performance a little bit.
Yeah, he had 3 tackles. He plays wide receiver also. He's on the kickoff team. He's one of those players you just put him out on the field, he'll make a play somewhere, some point in the game. And so that's really huge for him and really huge for the Mustangs to have players like that who all you need to do is put them out on the field and they'll make a play and make a positive play for your team in any on offense, defense, or special teams. And that's exactly what he did on Saturday against Salt River.
That's definitely how you create some looks for yourself, for sure. Being expendable, being able to adapt, definitely a lot of good traits, for sure. Playing receiver and going out on special teams, definitely a good trait to have. Pretty good show we had tonight. Very nice to hear Coach Medosky's perspective on the JUCO level, especially for me. I was really interested to hear some of his insight, and I was really happy with some of the things that he had to say. Nick, what did you say about your interview?
Dawan Curtis is hearing about him tearing his Achilles last year before the season. It's a scary injury, and being that young and it happening to you, you see NFL players do it or any pro sport players do it, and it's a big deal to them personally because it is such a big and scary injury that it's pretty cool that he came back this year healthy, and he's one of the key factors on that D-line and why the D-line's so good.
Absolutely, yeah. Tearing your Achilles at any level, especially at these lower levels, are definitely an injury to have to uphill climb to try and come back from. But very inspiring way back for him as he kind of helms that fierce defense that we heard about earlier. As far as this week for the Varsity Sports Show, Nick, I know you have a game out in St. Mary's. I'm going to be out at Glendale High School, or Greenway High School, for their matchup against Glendale. Kind of a different matchup for me. I'm familiar with a lot of different programs around. Not really familiar with these two in particular, but I'm, given the last week, I'm getting another different look for me this week. Very excited for it. Tell me a little bit about the matchup that you're going into this week.
Yeah, I'll be doing St. Mary's versus Moon Valley. Haven't covered them before. It'll be exciting. Always, when something's new, it's always exciting. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely just only 2 stops of our Valley Takeover on Friday nights. If you haven't checked that out, we live stream at several different locations across the Valley, not only the Valley, but also Arizona. I think we have a couple games out in Houston too that you should check out on our live feed. But yeah, Varsity Sports Show takes over Arizona every Friday, so be sure to check out one of those live streams. We're all over the place. But just kind of wrapping it up here. Really, I was really happy with some of the JUCO looks that we got. Hearing some of the different defensive perspectives, but I really want to highlight. Can't go through this coverage without highlighting the quarterback for Maricopa, Will Howell. Really balled out, as I kind of touched on with Coach Madosky. Really blew my perspective and what I thought he was going to do out of the water. Did you see anything particular from him?
He was confident. He knew when to throw it, when to tuck it and run. He knew how to protect his body, too. He didn't take big hits. And that's one of the biggest things as a quarterback, to have longevity throughout your career.
Absolutely, yeah. Throwing and rushing, he could do it all, and he really helmed that Maricopa offense and that Maricopa squad. Definitely a reflection from head coach Madosky that we've seen earlier. But nonetheless, this was the Varsity Sports Show Coaches Show, live here at the Angry Crab Shack. I'm Christopher Zavios. I had fun tonight. This is my broadcast colleague, Nick Furman. Nick, did you have fun tonight, man?
I had a great time tonight.
Yeah, definitely a great time. And hopefully you can join us again with all of our coverage later in this week. And we'll be right back here next Monday at the Angry Crab Shack. I'm Chris Zavios. This is Nick Furman. This was the Varsity Sports Show Coaches Show. Thank you for joining us tonight.